next right.
No, we just all of a sudden see all those lights and stuff. Like, and it turned to a 4-lane. We're like, what? This isn't right.
I'm just glad that there's some signs because we're probably driving straight over the freaking ocean. Just talking away.
All right, here we go. Yeah, it's been a minute. I got to think of how I'm going to intro this.
Here you go.
Hello, Rabun County, and welcome to your Wildcat Friday night. Oh my gosh, everybody's got to be ready for this. It is Friday night high school football here in Georgia, and we are on week 0 for your Wildcats as they come in here at White County tonight. This is your Pick'em show. I am Brett Cohey alongside of Chad Bedingfield, Les Tater Tot Turner, and my beautiful wife, Chelsea Cohey. We are getting ready to take on the games of the week here in high school. If you have never listened before, you're in for a surprise. This isn't like most pick'em shows or most radio shows, or really anything you've ever heard in life before.
Not even a treat. You're not even in for a treat.
You're not even in for a treat. It's a surprise.
Nice. Everybody has heard us before.
Everybody in this world has heard us before.
Let's not kid anybody. Everybody knows.
But we're going to take on some big high school football games from around the state of Georgia.
We're kind of a big deal.
We are kind of a big deal. Or used to be. We're has-beens.
Speak for yourself.
Right? And then after that, we'll finish with the drive to the game where we go over kind of high school football rankings and everywhere where everybody's kind of starting off this week 0. And if you don't know what week 0 is, that's basically another week of high school football I put in so we can have 2 bye weeks, right? I think that's the best way to explain it. Give a little extra rest, a little time for bodies to heal up. So what was it, 3 or 4 years ago they started the week 0?
Yeah, now we're just starting dead middle of summer.
Now we started dead middle of summer. I don't think we ever stop now.
Yeah, it's just year round.
It's kind of like basketball too. I mean, pretty much all year round. All year round.
I know when I was in high school, our first game was this first week in September. So.
Yep, and practice was 3 days before that.
Yeah.
That's when you started school.
Exactly. You didn't come in. You had the first practice the first day of school.
Yeah. There was
no school practice. All right. So, how y'all had a good summer? Everything good?
Yeah, it was a good summer.
Yeah, I'm ready for fall.
I'm ready for fall.
Football brings it in for us.
Right.
So it's just I'm ready for it. It's been a long, hot summer.
And you know what's crazy? This week when we started recording, it started getting a little cooler in the mornings.
Yeah,
it's like at noon.
Well, let me come over to your house because it's not that cool at my house yet.
You're sleeping in too. You're retired. Yeah. You're sleeping in till noon. You gotta wake up, Les.
Okay.
Yeah, Les has enjoyed retirement this
I know.
Yeah.
How is retirement, Les?
Work.
Yeah, that's what I hear. Every time I have
projects.
Every time I have a client that retires, they come in. I said, "How's retirement?" He said, "Busier than I've ever been."
Oh yeah, and it's true.
Yep.
So I got this one I'm going to finish, and then I'm going to coach for a little bit.
Well, you haven't grown your hair out, and you don't have a surfboard on your truck.
No, I had to hang it up because I was, reeling in too many trophies and stuff, and they want me all these surfing tournaments and stuff.
So. I'm kind of disappointed. I was expecting
the Olympics.
Yeah,
like a ponytail.
Did you say you're coaching?
No, coasting.
Coasting. I was like,
coaching, yeah. Coasting, all one and the same.
Okay.
100%. Well, should we get started here, Chad?
Let's do it.
I looked over these games today.
All high school games.
All high school games because college doesn't start till week 0 for college is next week. A few games next week where we are going to be in Dublin, Ireland to see Georgia Tech take on Florida State.
Me and Brad are going to Ireland to watch Georgia Tech play Florida State in Dublin.
Are you serious?
I'm dead serious.
Would she pass up a trip to Ireland no matter who was playing?
Yar.
No, she would not.
No.
Georgia Tech, though. For real.
I know.
For real.
Do you know what's crazy? It's a sold-out freaking game.
There's probably only like 20,000 seats.
I literally told Brad, I thought we'd be like one of 7 fans there.
Well, that end of the country will break off.
I mean, I know.
Go off into whatever seas nearby.
Well,
there will be.
I just hate that you're going to expose the nice people of Ireland to Georgia Tech.
Right. So I was going to give you a compliment and tell you that you had some really good picks here, but really that was just GHSA coming up with a good schedule.
No,
right?
well, me and GHSA were kind of in this together.
Yeah. Y'all are just like GHSA, you. 2 peas in a pod right there.
Oh.
Jefferson at Marist, we're going to start off. 2, historically really power strong.
Hang on. We need to talk a little bit about. Hang on, Les. I think you got a little feedback there. I think we need to talk about the reigning champion of last year. I think we're skipping a little bit ahead here.
I don't remember who it was.
Well, it was me, obviously.
She won last year?
Yes, I did.
I can't
Chad,
remember.
I
Yeah, she-
demolished you.
With all due respect,
Thank you, Les.
and all is due,
Thank you.
she's allowed to toot her horn a little
Thank
bit.
you. Thank you.
Because when I'm in, I'm gonna toot my horn.
Thank you.
I mean, this is a new season, though. I don't think that people usually start off the season talking about being a champion, do they?
Well, they do. The reigning champions, yes, they do. Yep. That's how you start off college football seasons, about last year's rankings. That's how we rank high school. That's how we're ranking this pickup show right now.
Can't live in the past, Chelsea.
You
cannot
know,
live in the past.
Listen, y'all can be haters all you want.
Well, let's see how you do this week, right?
Let's see.
And let's start off with what I was saying was kind of a powerhouse game. Historical powerhouse is Jefferson at Marist.
Les, I think we got some feedback.
Yeah.
I don't know what's happening.
There you
See
go.
if it's you.
Yeah.
There we
It's
go.
that Hurricane Debbie going on.
Okay.
Exactly. Jefferson at Marist, Marist private school at home. I think the Dragons take care of business here, though, Chad. I just think Jefferson's pretty doggone strong this year.
Well, they lost Sammy.
They
He's
did play Sammy Brown.
But they got his little brother Max, and he's a sophomore. And he's already been offered by some pretty big schools. So
Who's some big schools, Chad?
Auburn's already offered. Arkansas's already offered. There's one more ACC school. I can't remember what it was. I'm taking Marist at home. I think Marist is going to be one of the stronger teams in the state this year, and them playing at home, even though it is against Jefferson, I'm taking Marist.
Les?
Yeah, I agree. Marist is 4A in Region 5, Jefferson's 3A in Region 8. And Marist is ranked number 3 in their rankings there, and of course Jefferson's number 1. So I am going to I think Marist lost last year, and I think they're going to avenge that loss this time. So, and playing at home is a big deal. So I'm going to go with the Marist Eagles.
Chelsea?
I also have Marist on my
Oh, on an island with the
You're
Dragons.
already starting.
Yes.
On an island with
And
the
he's
Dragons.
spiraling, spiraling down fast.
First pick.
First
First pick, game 0.
First speaker and last.
Next up, how about the Red Elephants of Gainesville traveling over to take on Marietta? I'm going to take the road team again here. I think Gainesville's got something cooking with that coach from Alabama. If anybody's been by Gainesville's facilities lately, they have poured some money into it. Gainesville is not Buford yet, but they're trying to be Buford-like anyway. But I think the Red Elephants take care of business, Chelsea. Who do you have?
I've got Gainesville on the road.
Les?
Yeah, they're ranked number 2 in 5A. Marietta's not even ranked, so I'll have to take Gainesville on a road win there to get started.
I'm going to tell you the Red Elephants. So I think it's going to be a lot closer game than on paper. Gainesville lost a lot last year as far as kids. So I think it's going to be a good game, but Josh Niblett is too good of a coach to lose that game.
I think it comes down to coaching.
Yeah.
All right, Ware County Gators taking on Appleton County at Appleton County. Again, I'm going to take the road team 3 in a row. Give me Ware County Gators take care of business. Les, who do you have?
Yeah, I mean, 2A against a 4A. Ware County would be the 4A. Ranked 7, Appleton 2. I'm going to have to take the Gators too. I think they're going to have a little bit too much firepower. Appleton's going to be a good team, but not yet.
Chad?
Yeah, I thought I could pull that one in on y'all.
Why did you look at me?
Appleton County's a good team, but I think Ware County's one of the stronger teams in the state this year as well. So give me the Gators on the road.
Chelsea?
You thought I was going to pick them because of the Gators.
No, I thought you were going to pick Appleton County.
Why? I'm
Pirates.
picking Ware County.
Okay.
I mean, that's what the reigning champion does, Chad. They pick the winning teams.
Well, that first one you didn't pick winning, but other than that one, you've done okay. All right, Hart County and Elbert County. I was doing a little study on this game. Hart County's kind of taken a step backwards the last couple of years, huh? They're not quite as good when they were as under Rance Gillespie.
They have a good group coming up, though. I've been able to watch those kids at the young ones. I mean, they had a really good junior varsity team last year, so I think they're going to be a little better this year than they were last year.
Well, I'm going to take Elbert County and the Granite Bowl to win this one at home. Elbert County's kind of my sleeper to maybe make some noise for the state championship.
Wow.
Say that again?
Elbert County's my sleeper to make some noise for the state championship.
Oh, okay.
What you got, Les?
I'm going with Hart County on the road. I think Elbert's going to be a good team, but I don't think they're melded yet. So I'm just going to stick it out for the Hart County Bulldogs and see what they can get done there. So I'm just going to take a shot in the dark on them.
I love it.
Jels?
Albert.
Yeah, I'm taking I think Hart County's a lot. They're going to be much improved, but I don't think Elbert's going to go to state championship, but they will be one of the top teams in our region. So It's gonna be. I mean, this is one of the biggest rivalries in the state. So
I think them or Commerce are going to be one of those. Whoever wins our region, I think, is going to be in the driver's seat to do pretty well deep in the playoffs.
maybe.
Habs Central at Stevens County. This is a rivalry that goes back a long time. Stevens kind of one side of Stevens County has really owned this series, I believe, for the most part.
Half Central had this game won last year. They were up by like 20 points with 4 minutes left or something crazy like that.
I call
This right here is Chad's fishing. Chad's
I'm just
fishing.
telling you.
Chad's fishing.
It's true.
Heartbreak Cab.
I'm going to take Stevens County at the reservation. I'm going to go to Chelsea because the late great Puddin wasn't around for you to ask how Stevens County's going to be this year.
I know who he picked. He picked Stevens County.
Is that who you got?
And that's who I got too.
All right. Les?
I don't think Hab has enough yet for Stevens County. I'm going to go with the Indians at the reservation.
So nobody picked
They'll have
Hab?
those smoke signals going.
I was like, Chad, what do you
Stevens County big.
Yeah,
That was Chad fishing a minute ago.
absolutely. Warner Robins at Lee County. I think that Chad put this on here for me to try to, because he thinks Warner Robins is probably better than Lee County. I think he'll end up picking Warner Robins, but I'm going to stick with Lee County right here to be the powerhouse of South Georgia, take care of business. Chad, tell us all the reasons why Warner Robins wins this game.
Lee County's going to win this thing going away. I just put Warner Robins on there because I think it'll be a decent game for about 3 quarters.
Yeah.
Then Lee County should just be a little stronger this year. It's hard to tell in the first games, but I think Lee County's probably stronger. You thought I was going to be Warner Robins. Chelsea's.
I've got Lee County. No, I don't. I have Lee County.
Gosh.
Les?
If you want to separate.
I'm going to stick my neck out again on Warner Robins.
Oh, man. Les.
Get it, Les.
You gotta, you just gotta do what you gotta do.
And you did it.
That's
Yes,
taking
I
your
did.
neck out there. That's for
It's
sure.
out there. I'm glad I got a long neck.
All right. So Warner Robins is the island you sit on out there.
That's right. And it's
All
got one palm tree. That's all I need.
That's all it is. A good
Like
way
a drink in your hand.
Yes, with my surfboard
With a
laying next
surfboard,
to
that's
me.
right.
Exactly.
I'm
He's
good to go.
All right, here's going to be a good game down in South Georgia. Irwin County going to take on Fitzgerald. Bottom line is, whoever was at home is who I'm taking in this game. Give me Fitz to take care of business at home. It's going to be probably the game of the week. Maybe this Thomasville Brooks County we're going to talk about in a minute might be just as good. But I think Irwin County Fitzgerald is going to come down to possibly an overtime game. This is going to be one of the better games of the whole state this Friday night, Chelsea.
I agree. I'm picking Fitz at home.
Any reason why, or just too good?
Just this.
I'm just saying. Let's just who's gonna
All right, Les.
Well, they're both ranked number 4 in their classifications for good reason. I'm going to pick Irwin County.
Les is
win. Les is taking
Les is
a
leading this
plunge.
thing, or
Exactly.
Yeah, I think they're pretty evenly matched. So it's going to be a barn burner for sure. So I'm willing to stick it out early, see what happens.
both of these teams moved down in classification. So Fitz was double A last year. They're down in our division now, Division 1A, and then Irwin County moves down to 2. This is going, big rival, but I think Fitz just may have a little more this year than Irwin County. Give me the Purple Hurricanes at home.
Irwin County was 3A last year?
No, they were Division 1 with us, and they're down to Division 2 now.
Got it. Let's say. Okay. All right, so Les on an island again with Irwin County, is that right?
Here's your national game. This is
Wow.
your
Well, I will say this, Les, that's an okay island to be on. I can see this game totally going to Irwin County, just depending on.
It'll take us a few games to get in the season and start seeing a picture develop on
No, it's so
how
hard to
things are
handicap
done.
games.
Yeah, so I'm not willing to
That's
stick
not
that
that.
right now.
We've been in that atmosphere.
Mhm.
Fitzgerald. It is crazy.
It is. You're right. This next one's got national implications. 2 of the better teams in the state and 2 of the better teams in the country. Buford at Milton. This one's easy for me, though, honestly. I think Milton wins this one by a couple touchdowns at home. I think Milton's better than Buford. I think Buford's in a little bit of a rebuild mode. And I just think that Milton's just a better team. this year.
Wow.
Les?
Yeah, I kind of agree along those lines. They dropped down. Buford was in 7A, and they did away with 7A, and they'll crunch them together in 6A, but Milton's in 5A. So, I think Buford's going to have a little bit It could go either way, but I'm going to pick the Wolves to win it here, even on the road.
Well, so they were both in 7A last year.
Mm-hmm.
Buford drops to 6A. Milton drops all the way down to 5A.
Yeah.
So they're actually in there with Gainesville and those guys this year.
Mm-hmm.
I think Buford Buford, they basically don't rebuild, they reload. So I think they're even it being at Milton, I think I'm gonna take the Wolves on the road.
Chelsea?
You're taking the Buford Wolves? Okay, I'm taking Milton.
Sweet.
Yeah. Not there yet.
All right. Next up, Wesleyan at Commerce. I got a feeling I'm the one that's going to go on a limb here. I'm going to take the Tigers at home. I think Wesleyan's a little bit of a.
I don't know what kind of limb you're talking about.
I mean, what branch are you on? What tree are you climbing?
Well, you were just talking a minute ago about how you think Commerce could
Commerce is
possibly
a
win the
number.
state championship.
Yeah, you just said
You're
that.
going out on a limb.
But Wesleyan's ranked higher in the state than Commerce. And,
No, they're not.
No. Wesleyan's ranked 8th and Commerce is number 2.
1 and 2.
not in Max Preps.
Max
But see,
Preps.
Wesleyan is ranked 8th in
Let
A
me-
through
let me-
3A and private.
Let me tell you a little something.
That's
Les is retired and he's got time to research. Okay, you have been at work.
Max Preps also
I trust Les.
also ranks them different. They put the privates and the publics together.
You tell Les.
Whereas everybody else, Maxwell ratings is what I go by.
So who do you have in
Commerce
this
at one.
game?
Who do you have?
Commerce, Tigers.
You're on that limb. That's right. Yeah, I'm gonna get on that limb with you. I think Commerce is gonna win at home.
That's a risky choice, Chad.
I mean, they have
They have
Jaden.
3.
They have Jaden Daniels back and the other big fullback. I think
Yeah.
it's gonna be tough to beat those guys this year.
Chelsea?
I'm also going to take Commerce.
Wait, listen, we can't have everybody on this limb. It'll break.
Yeah, this is a strong limb, evidently, that you've gone out on.
Les, we can't have you out here. Who you got?
I think we're on a
He's
tree.
always to beat Commerce.
I pick Commerce. I mean, Wesleyan's one of those teams that could surprise you if you ain't careful.
Yep.
If you get off a little bit, they could hang around.
But is it going to happen in week 0?
No, but I think Commerce has got that three guys back in the backfield, and just if one's a little off, the other one makes up the slack. And I heard their scrimmage; they look bad on offense, but that was last week.
Offense don't win games, less defense does.
I agree. I'm a defensive person, but this Commerce will win this with a 3-pronged attack on the offense.
All right, well, let's take a short break. Let's pay some bills, get some ads through the radio channels here, and we will be right back. Sky 96.3 Sports, your home for Rabun County High School football. We just broke that line.
Now, I'm still recording.
Sweet.
So all y'all are wanting to know what happens during commercial breaks. Oh, well, we have something for you.
Although the disco will start anytime.
Oh, me. All right, here we go. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are down in White County, are your Wildcats, getting ready to take on the White County Warriors here, open up their 2024 campaign, coming off a good year last year. What was their record? What did they end up
8-4.
8-4 last year, and made it to the quarterfinals.
Lost to Brooks County in the quarters at Brooks County.
I mean, that's like a bad record.
Yeah, I mean it's
Quarterfinals, Brooks County.
Quarterfinals South Georgia teams.
Mm-hmm.
Period. Driving down there. I don't care who it is. Swainsboro, we ran into it with Fitzgerald. We ran into it with Thomasville. How many times?
Thomasville,
Twice.
Callaway.
Callaway was actually a Final Four game, but the other quarters was with Fitz and gosh, I can't get over Thomasville. Thomasville
Jefferson
twice.
County.
Yeah, Jefferson County.
Yep, been several of them. Well, speaking of South Georgia schools, the one that if you've ever listened to this show before, this is a school that I despise and Chad hates. Thomasville Bulldog going in to take down to Brooks County. These are probably the biggest rivals in the state of Georgia, would you say?
I mean,
Why are we playing game 0, these big rival games?
well, because of the way the regions have changed now, especially in Division II, which Brooks County dropped to, they're mostly region games. So they can't schedule Thomasville in the middle of the region. So it's they have to get basically you have to get your non-region games out of the way early.
That kind of sucks.
Because I think I may be wrong, but I have to go back and look. But Brooks may only have 2 non-region games, and the rest of them are all region.
Wow.
It's kind of a flip from what it was just a couple years ago, where they were in a region with like 4 teams.
Yeah, like nobody to play.
Like us last year. I mean, everybody makes the playoffs.
Yeah.
And it's going to be interesting to see, too, with Coach Freeman departing to Alabama.
Yep, he's gone.
Do they still have the mojo they've been carrying? So that's been one of the most highly talked things about them down there is that.
I'll tell you this. I went to watch the game last year and we lost in the quarters. They had some young football players down there, and they were athletes. I mean, they even them being as young as they were, they're a terrific football team. I think they're going to be really strong this year too.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to tell you right now, Thomasville, Brooks County, I wouldn't care if it was Kim in North Korea's football team or Putin over in Russia's football team. I'm taking whoever's taking on Thomasville, Brooks County.
I'm the same way.
Lay the hammer down.
I'm the same
Lay
way.
the hammer down.
I would pick Brooks County if it was their JV team. Thomasville.
Yep. 100%.
So there's not a thing.
If it was a JV team.
There's not a thing I like about Thomasville.
Nothing.
Nothing. I don't even like driving through there.
Horrible.
Chad detours his vacation around Thomasville.
Wes, who do you have in this game?
I'm like y'all. Brooks County. I'm picking Brooks. I want to see how they do with the new coach. And what to allude a little bit what you just talking about those younger guys that were down coming up. What I'm hearing through the grapevine too is those guys are once they get a few games under their belt, they're gonna show out.
They had a sophomore wide receiver who was maybe like 6'7".
Yeah,
that kid was unbelievable. So they're gonna be really good. But Thomasville, I don't care. Go to play.
Chelsea?
I mean, I almost want to pick them.
I think you should.
Chelsea.
I think you should.
Get on that island. Get on that Thomasville island.
Get on that branch, limb, whatever it is.
That's a win.
I'm picking Brooks County at home.
Of course you are.
So you don't
Listen,
want
I'm in it to win it.
you probably don't want to be on that land with those folks from Thomasville.
So next game here, let me tell you all at home what happens here is Chad's looking at making the picks and he's trying to find games that will slip one of us up, and he's thinking here that me and Chelsea potentially are gonna make a pick here by our hearts because we got a daughter that goes to Rabun Gap, and he's trying to get a win on us, thinking this is a way to. Plus he's always thinking that Rabun Gap, they haven't played real football, they don't play Georgia high school football. That's everything that's going through Chad's mind right now. Let me finish this real quick and say that though. Rabun Gap will win this game and it won't even be close. That's how confident I am. Rabun Gap goes down there and takes care of business. Benedictine's going down in Savannah, bottom line, and I don't care that you tried to trap me. They will win this game big.
Well, they should. They have 5D1 athletes up there.
Thank you.
I'm not sure where they're from, Belgium or Germany or wherever they're from. It doesn't matter.
Buford can recruit the same lines?
No, they can't. We talked about this earlier. Anyway, yes.
Chad, I swear to y'all, he lives on a delusional planet.
Buford can recruit from Arizona and California, wherever the quarterback came from.
They can recruit 19
and
year olds.
can recruit their moms too.
They can recruit 19 year olds. There we go. Let's just leave it at that.
He's Delulu.
Chelsea, who do you have in this game?
Eagles, baby.
I love it.
I'm taking Rabun Gap.
How about you, Les?
I'm going to go with the Cadets. I think as a whole, from what we played in the past and how they're doing, they're number one in their classification. I'm going to say this in the respect that I want Rabun Gap to prove me wrong.
Yeah,
that's the deal.
Fine with
then
that.
they will. I watched them the other night. I told you when you first came in, my first impression was Gap. Even with their linemen, how lean they are. I'm going, do they work out? And were they that strong? They didn't have 300-pound linemen.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Benedictine and this is not a knock on Rabun Gap because I haven't seen them play per se, other than the scrimmage the other day. But I just think Cadets, especially at home, Danny's going to have that thing cooking with gas. And Rabun Gap's the number 56 team in the country.
Yeah.
So. Yeah. I want Rabun Gap to prove me wrong first.
I mean, honestly, I'm looking for that too. I think I want to see how good Rabun Gap is against a quality GHSA team. It's easy to get the rankings as Rabun Gap.
Shut you up.
Probably not. But I mean, no. If they go down there and handle Benedictine, that's a lot of respect. But
yeah.
I mean, it's impressive to beat Baylor School out of Chattanooga because they're a really good team. And they beat Baylor last year when Baylor had one of their better teams. They do have 5 D1 athletes at Rabun Gap. I would love for them to prove me wrong. I just think that it's kind of one of those situations. I do this all the time. It's kind of one of the SEC ACC situations. I mean, GHSA is more on the SEC side where you're playing good teams every weekend, and then in these North Carolina teams, we all know if it's not basketball, the North Carolina football teams are a little weaker. So that being said, I still think that Rabun Gap has built something that's very competitive. They've only played 2 basically GHSA teams, and that was 2 years ago. They played Sequoia, who's not that good of a team. They played Mays last year, who lost like 5 games. So granted, those are big schools, but they're kind of bottom feeder GHSA schools. So I'm really interested to see where this goes. If they can prove that ranking, and I think if they go down there and handle Benedictine, they could jump up top 30 in the nation. But that being said, I think the cadets are going to be. They're going to be worthy of their ranking. I think it'll be a good game. I think Benedictine wins this thing by 10.
So I hear everything you're saying.
So you're on that one.
No, he picked it up.
No, he did.
You're good. So I hear everything you're saying. I agree with you. Georgia's probably it's at least the 4th best state, if not the 3rd best state in the country in high school football.
At least 3rd. Who's in the 8 of them?
Texas,
Florida.
Texas better than Florida now.
Okay, 3rd, 4th, whatever. Okay, but
get it right.
You also, you got to say that everything in the GHSA is not good either, right? I mean, there was years when we were at Rabun County, we didn't play anybody to the quarters or semifinals, right?
But then I think you're actually comparing apples to apples. With Rabun Gap, with what they can do with recruiting, is exactly what's really close to what Benedictine can do.
Mm-hmm.
So I think you're actually comparing the two.
And I actually had a discussion with the headmaster at Rabun Gap and said, why don't you move this to GHSA? And it all lined up with the school schedule for foreign students to be able to.
And they would have to, every athlete there would have to sit out an entire season if they swapped over. Like everybody would have to, no sports would happen. They've got way too many athletes that can't sit a season out.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, they're doing exactly. If I was the head football coach at Rabun Gap, I'd be doing the same thing. I mean, it's you have 8 players from Georgia, you have 9 from North Carolina, you have 7 from South Carolina, then you have basically a couple
from Germany.
Yeah, well, then you get into you have some from Canada even.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, and you can't argue with it because they're great academics. You're going to go get good education. You're going to more than likely get a scholarship to play football. So there's no argument with it. I'm not saying that I hate Rabun Gap. It's just I'm honestly now. They did play Valor Christian last year, which is a big deal. But I want to see them play some. I mean, but that Valor Christian's out of Colorado, and I don't think that it's just different to me. I'm eager to see it. I'm eager to see what they can do with Benedictine because, I mean, they're easily Rabun Gap's easily one of the better teams in the state. If they, I'd like to see them playing the better teams in the state, and this is one of them. So.
And also this game.
Well, we'll know in a little while, won't we?
Benedictine only had 9 games on the schedule, and they got this one make the 10th. But Benedictine, and then you're going to see Benedictine play Buford next week.
Yeah, Benedictine is for sure not scared to play anybody. But that's what you have to go. They're also building their program to go win a state championship.
Mm-hmm.
So, but that's what you have to do. It's almost like unless where it places you in the region, losses doesn't matter as much out of region.
No,
I mean because
we've said that Brooks County forever. They come in the region
and play everybody
1-6.
Yeah. Brooks at one time was playing Valdosta, and I think they might have played Colquitt one time.
That year that they beat us down there, was it them that beat it? They started off like 2-6 or 1-6, and then went in the region playing won their region.
Yes, that was last year.
Was that last year?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they were.
Yeah,
they didn't start off poorly.
Yeah.
Well, let's take another short break. Let's come back and let's talk about the game that all y'all are listening to talk about, right? Sky 96.3 Sports, your home for Rabun County High School football. I'll get you a Rabun Gap shirt if you want one.
No. I'm not going to throw Rabun Gap on the bus. On the air.
On the air?
No.
Somebody might buy lumber from you in there.
That's true.
Still recording over here, though.
I'm quiet. If you go Rabun Gap and buy lumber from Reeves, continue on.
Y'all are awesome.
Yeah.
And welcome back, Rabun County. Your Wildcats getting ready to take on the White County Warriors here on the road. Kick off your 2024 campaign. Can you believe it is time? It's that time of the year where, the heat's it's just too much, right? It's getting muggy. You've had some rain. It's just hot every day. And then all of a sudden, as Chelsea said, you wake up in the morning and it's not cold. It's not cooler.
But
It's a little crisp.
It's not even crisp yet, but it's
just for a
definitely.
minute. You feel it.
You know it's coming.
You smell it.
You know
You
it's coming.
smell it, right? And that's where we're at. Rabun County, coming off the 8-4 campaign, looking to improve on that. Chad, you're more connected to the football program than I am anymore. Tell us, I know you've got the returning quarterback is back this year.
Ty Trulo's back, and we found out last year that I can't remember if it was third or fourth game of the season, may even been earlier. Ty actually had a shoulder injury that he kind of fought through all year, which playing quarterback is a pretty big deal. They had a good year. It was really kind of inconsistent. They would play the way and Commerce was just really good. Of course, if you can go back and everybody remembers the Commerce game that was there, we actually went into overtime with those guys. That was basically for the region championship because we lost to Elbert. And then I think it came down between us, Commerce, and Elbert on that last game. And we actually lost in overtime. We were trying to run the ball in, and we fumbled there close to the end zone. So it was in the same end zone. If you remember the first year Coach Shaw was here, and we played at Commerce, and we actually scored, and they said they stopped it short.
I do remember that. Yep.
It was that same end zone almost. It wasn't up the middle. It was around the side, but we fumbled the ball. So we legit lost that one. I still think you go back to all those years ago, we won that football game.
You remember the interview after that game?
Oh yeah, Coach Shaw was mad, man. That was a bad time. We got absolutely screwed out of that game.
Yeah.
But
the whole game was pretty bad.
But going back, it was a good year for these guys. They beat some pretty good teams. Heard County's a little bit off, but they did beat Heard, and then of course they beat Harrelson. Whitfield Academy we had to beat twice last year, and Whitfield ended up being one of the better teams. Well, actually, they were the first team in their region because we ended up having to go down there and play them. We played them in the regular season at Whitfield Academy, and then had to go back in the second round of the playoffs and play them again. Really good football team, but had the same result. We ended up putting it on pretty good, but of course we lost Wheelie. That's a pretty big deal. We lost Cooper Welch.
You went to Virginia, Willie?
Wheelie is at Cincinnati. Yeah. Jaden Gibson's at Virginia.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, but losing Wheelie's a big deal. They're going to have to replace that this year. You've got Clayton Dixon out there Clayton Blaylock. Clayton Dixon, he graduated with Tate. But Clayton Blaylock on one side. And you have Jake Payne back as well on the other side. So they have some experience coming back.
Boys, heck of a running back.
Yeah, Reed's back. And we also, our new softball coach that came up from Mary Parsons High School, her son plays, and he's a heck of a running back too. So we got him this year to kind of help Reed out in the backfield. I think you're going to see us running the ball a little more than we have been in the past. We have some pretty good receivers, but I think we're going to run the ball a lot more this year. Yeah. And defensively, we're still going to be pretty strong. So it's going to be interesting to see. I don't think tonight will really show us much of an indication of what we have. I don't know what White County has back. I know they had a pretty good JV team last year, but I don't know exactly.
Well, Cal Faulkner is the returning quarterback. He's kind of a big deal. So they do have some weapons over there. So,
Cal Faulkner?
Cal Faulkner's the name.
And, he's committed to Georgia Tech. I didn't know he was at White County.
Yeah. So I think he's a senior this year. Now, I even looked at our roster. We have like 13 seniors and 11 juniors. So I thought it'd be more juniors, but it's the same ratio. You have about the same amount in each class. So next year, of course, we'll have everybody, all the whole backfield back again.
Yeah,
but that's next year.
Ty will be back next year. Reed Giles will be back next year, and then Noah English will be back next year. So you're right. A lot of those guys will be back.
Yeah.
But as far as this year, it could basically go almost the same. I feel like our schedule's a little tougher this year.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like
for sure.
White County, we don't really, like you said, we don't really know what they have right now. I know here in a couple of weeks we play Dalton, and that's a big deal.
Big game.
Dalton High School was traditionally a really, really good football
Jameer
team.
Gibbs is high school.
Yeah. So
Dalton?
Dalton.
Yeah.
Oh, I love.
So
Well,
Yeah, I saw
did
that.
Coach Davis schedule that on purpose to get back to some of his stomping ground?
I think Coach. I talked with him right after the schedule was made, and he was talking about that how they. He knows a lot of guys over there, and he also knows that these non-region games are, although they do mean something, they are the most important thing is they're getting you ready for region.
Yeah.
So you're not going to get a better preparation for our region as in playing Dalton.
Yeah, it's kind of like a Brooke County situation.
Yeah,
You play the Guffeys, get
yeah.
ready for later on.
They're going to have speed. They're going to have size. They're a much bigger school, and and traditionally they're a very winning program. So it's going to be a pretty big deal playing Dalton. But that may be the third or fourth game of the season. So but you're right. Coach Davis has connections over there with all those people because look, we played at Daresville last year, maybe even the year before, so he has connections with those West Georgia coaches, and it's always good to test yourself against teams like that.
Well, I'm gonna take Wildcats to take care of business here. I do think it's gonna be a really close game. I think Rabun County. I do. I think White County's got a pretty decent program down there. I think this one's going to come down to honestly Giles in the backfield getting some yardage and different Rabun County offense than me and you used to call, right?
Right.
A lot more ground and pound and not nearly as much trying to hustle and fast pace.
Right. Well, the thing about it too is White County, they're going to have a crowd there, and now with the success that Rabun County's had since what we were talking about earlier, 2008, or with the success that we've been able to have with our football
We
program.
were not successful in 2008. That's when I graduated.
What year
We
was
were like 1-9.
I'm sorry, it was the year
2010 or 11.
2012.
Yeah, because I graduated in.
So but since that time, it's been we kind of had a target on our back. So all these teams, especially White County, because traditionally White County was one of our rivals. They used to be in our region. We used to play those guys all the time. I know when I was in high school, they were one of our region games. So when you coupled with, we still play them in different sports, softball, baseball, some I think maybe, but you get those teams in. Like next week, we play Fannin County. So that's another old region game. These teams, I think, feel a little hurt. They feel like Rabun County's kind of stepped it up and left them kind of down here. So they really have something to prove.
Is Chad Cheatham still in Fannin County?
I think so.
Yeah, he's still there.
Thought so.
Just aside, Union County lost their quarterback with an ACL yesterday. So he's
Sorry to hear about that, Chad.
Yeah.
I know you're a Union County.
I'm not going to talk bad about any kid. I hate that you got hurt.
Yeah.
But Union County is
So if Union was playing Fitz, Thomasville, Union versus Thomasville.
I pick Union.
Union. Like I go wearing a Union shirt.
Chad's like, I'm telling you right now, I would put on the shoe.
Because I would have to pick one of them. I'll just take a loss. So I'm going to pick another.
We got Rabun County all the way around.
I saw in the scrimmage Rabun get burnt on the edges quite a few times, even on the reverse. They really need to seal them edges a little better than what they have been. So I'm sure they've worked on in practice, and Coach saw what he saw watching the scrimmage. And did we see everything? Who knows? But I think they need to tighten the edges.
I remember the last time we played White County is when we done the call over there and I was on the sidelines. I think that might have been when Coach Shaw was trying to get me to tell him where the ball was.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I was down on the sideline, like on the 10-yard line, and I had my headphones in, watching what was going on, and all of a sudden I hear somebody yelling at me. And I look up and it's Coach Shaw, Lee Shaw, yelling, "Chad!" I was like, "Oh crap!" So I jumped back. I thought I'd done something wrong, but he was just wanting to know where the ball was spotted because he couldn't see it. I was like, but Brett and Jeff were laughing about that.
You were his father.
Oh yeah,
reprimanded.
we thought he was fixing to get a penalty or something. He hit too close to the field.
Yes.
Yeah. But that's the last time we were there. That was a good game then. Remember, I think last year we had Bailey in them then.
They had a really good running back then. You remember that? They had a really good running back.
Yeah.
I don't remember who that was, but they had.
I want to say not Sullins.
No, that's
I wa-
he's from Logan County.
Because I watched a little bit of the game when we played them last time. We did beat them, but they did score them. But they had that one back that could scoop pretty good.
Yeah. That was Bailey. That might have been 17. That might have been Bailey's senior year.
Mm-hmm. Well, that was fun. Don't go anywhere, though. We're going to take a break and come back and do the drive to the game. We're going to go over high school football around the state of Georgia. Chet may even have some national stuff going on there. Hopefully, he's got some recruiting for us for our high school football,
Let me have your sheet.
our college programs. See where some of these players that we might see this year or hear about may go and play at the next level. We'll be right back. Sky 963 Sports, your home for Rabun County High School football.
I'm not sure I'm that prepared.
It's week 0, y'all.
Yeah, for real.
Relax.
This thing got me on ESPN.
Relax. Y'all got out here picking national championships.
We just what do you know about recruiting? That's what the number one thing in America is. Recruiting.
Cruton.
Who's
Go
recruiting?
over the rankings first.
Who's recruiting?
Man, I gotta be careful
About?
saying things.
What'd you say now?
No, I'm talking about we're on YouTube.
Oh.
One is
Chad's paranoid. He's also being
I'm gonna
recorded
be
here.
getting death threats from kids from Rabun Gap. Your team sucks.
So last year during the state championship game over there, they had what was probably
Nope, you're still recording.
a fairly bad call,
Mm-hmm.
and
Nope, you're still recording. We talked about it. We'll talk about it in a little while.
I didn't think it was that.
I listened to the last 5 minutes of the game.
I didn't think it was that controversial.
I'm friends with people.
So that's another
All
thing.
right, welcome back. We are here, ready to take on these White County Warriors. Chad, sorry, did you want to stay in that commercial break a little bit?
No, I was.
Rick Kendall know what was on your
about to say
mind.
something
What were you
about
gonna
Rabun
say,
Gap.
Chad?
Let's say something about Rabun Gap.
Tell us what you were going to say.
Wonderful.
I get that email every morning, every morning.
Yeah.
This time of year.
That's why I sent that link to you.
No, Coach Shaw did. Lee Shaw
Yeah.
gave me that.
Lee Shaw sent it to me too.
Yeah.
Damn.
He sent it to me first.
He didn't.
Yeah, he did.
He did.
He sent it to me.
I remember you asking me about it. And I was like,
Yeah, okay, all right, whatever.
So I went to Coach Shaw and was like, look, Brett's crying on us.
Yeah.
We're going to have
Those
to
are the days, man. When Lee Shaw was around, that was fun.
Hey,
We had some
if
fun.
you need to talk to people, you need to go through press.
Is he still down
Okay.
at Mettler?
Huh?
Is he still at
No,
Mettler?
he's not. I think he left later.
So J-Bo's up at Greenville High School.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's a 4A school.
Been in Rabun County
Hopefully,
pretty much all summer long.
Yeah, I just saw
I've seen
him
him
last week.
He's recruiting.
probably
Yeah.
Recruiting. He's recruiting.
recruit
He better get back over there.
to the Palmetto
So
State.
is
Yeah.
Coach Shaw coaching? No.
I don't know what's going on, but I don't think he's met her. I haven't heard. So
Cool. Let's hear about the
Yeah,
Raiders.
but those were the days.
Those were the days. Those were fun. Those were fun days.
Oh.
Because, you know, the thing was, and Chad, you can appreciate this as a fan, but you can't appreciate it as a commentator, whatever the heck we were that we're so terrible at. But me and Jeff, you know, followed that team around. And look, this isn't any slight on the kids. They did the best they could, but it just wasn't a program where they needed, you know, where it should have been. But we watched ourselves get trumped 63-0 at North Coney in a half. We watched us win one game a year for 2 or 3 seasons in a row. We got beat by Hayesville, North Carolina. And then you bring Coach Shaw in, and that was some fun. You know,
Yeah.
I remember that first year thinking, because we were still in the region with
Buford.
no, we weren't Buford, but it was
Union Bank.
Jefferson and Washington Wilkes. And I remember thinking, if we can just get to third place, and that's where we ended up.
Oh, you're talking about Coach Shaw's first year?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
In
remember that.
that first year, we did get to third place, but then the next year, we won the flipping region. You know?
Yeah, I remember. You remember the game, the Jefferson game, when Coach Shaw got into it with the Jefferson coaches?
Tried to call them across the field.
Yeah.
Said, come on over. And then turned around and pumped up the crowd.
Yeah. I
Yes.
remember that.
Do you
Yeah.
remember going to Washington Wilkes and winning down there?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. That's one of
Washington
my
Wilkes
favorite
is
places
the
to
team guys
go.
play.
That I would
That's the
go
one
to a
where y'all are
game.
like basically in the woods. Is that the one where y'all are so? What's the
No,
what's
it's
the-
that's
That's the one with the
stand.
deer stand.
Yeah, the deer stand.
But-
Yeah.
But they actually come out of a cage.
Yeah, they come out of a cage.
Yeah.
It's cool. Like, I'd go to a game there again.
Would you?
100%. Oh, heck yeah.
I haven't had it, buddy. It's not that far to drive.
Let's do it.
I'm not.
Huh? I can go check out. I got a store down in Evans, Georgia, which isn't far from that. I could, check it out.
Evans, they have a good football team.
Do they?
Yeah.
Can we go watch some football down there?
Well, we're gonna be
We'll eat a sub sandwich before we get down there. How about
we're gonna
that?
be in Aiken, South Carolina, in a couple of weeks from now, and that is very close to Augusta, which is close to Evans. So
Why are you going to Aiken?
softball.
We've got one daughter playing travel volleyball and travel softball, and one of them playing varsity basketball and JV varsity volleyball.
I went to Aiken, South Carolina last winter to watch Connor McKay play in the Peach Belt Conference tournament over there.
Did you say Conor McGregor?
Connor McKay.
Oh, Conor McGregor.
Yeah.
I heard Conor McGregor. I'm
Yeah,
like,
I helped tag out of school. He wanted to go watch Connor play. So we went there and
Very
watched.
cool.
It's a long flipping drive.
We're staying the whole weekend over there. This is craziness. Volleyball's the same way. I travel volleyball. We went.
We've only had to stay overnight there once. I mean, well, we chose to stay overnight like in Atlanta, seeing my brother and all that, but we only had to stay overnight to play a 2-day thing.
I'll give some props to my youngest daughter, who, if anybody knows her, is not the knucklehead, right? The older one is the one that kind of to be, more punk, more boisterous, almost bully-like sometimes, right? The other one, the younger one, very, very calm demeanor, personality.
She's like her dad, and the younger one's like me.
Right. But this softball, she's the catcher like her mother was, and it's a whole different attitude when she puts on that softball uniform. Like last night, she literally got hit. We had to take her to the doctor today because we thought her phone was broken. But she literally, because she had her hand out,
This is funny.
and gets hit by the pitch, and she's doing this. Turned to her mom. She said, "Man, that hurts."
She wouldn't tell me the whole practice, and I'm like,
She's like, "Come over here and let me wrap it up." She's like, "No, they're gonna take me out." So she
And I-
wraps it up in white tape and then goes and rubs it in dirt so they don't notice it.
Jeez.
Yeah.
She wasn't going out.
No,
Yeah,
they're not taking me
Which,
out.
if you know Hadley Ray is
That's
like,
not her at
that's
all.
not her at all. She's a different person in softball. So
Hadley
Proud dad
and
and
I chat about
all
it, and he's like, do we have to run anymore? Like, are we done running?
oh yeah, you can coach her. You
Yeah.
know, so imagine this Hadley, right? The one that's like, okay, let's do this.
Yeah.
Likes to have contact with the plate. Likes to have a collision. She doesn't mind it a bit.
Hadley at basketball at 6U with Chad was like, is there a halftime? Like, can we go have a snack?
Just want to come out of the game. I need water.
I don't really want to run.
Could you get my dad to come over here?
Jeez, Hadley.
Oh man, that's great. Chad,
Okay.
high school football rankings.
Well, the preseason rankings are out, so we'll kind of, and like we were saying, this is probably going to change really fast. But now the classifications have changed. There's no longer a 7A, as Les was saying. It's 6A and below, and then
Let's talk about that a minute. Why'd they do that? I didn't keep up.
well, they're trying. We're trying to regulate the private schools, basically. is
They've
what-
been trying to do that for 20 years.
Yeah, and so now what you have is any private schools that are considered classification 4 and above, they stay with public schools. They'll play the public state championship. Just nothing changes there really.
Okay.
So when you took away that,
Is there a multiplier anymore?
no, I don't think there's more.
Really?
Right.
Okay.
So so what happens now is that eliminated one classification, which is 7A. So without the multiplier, they still put your big schools up there in 6A. Surprisingly, that Milton actually moved down.
That's what I was going to ask you. How did that happen?
Milton must not have a lot of students. I mean, they do have a lot of students,
But they got rid of the multiplier.
correct. So so then you make any private schools 3A in classification 3A and below will play their own state championship against each other. So you're going to have the
Public or private?
Correct.
Private plays
yeah,
private.
and so you're going to have Prince playing. I mean, it's going to be much tougher for the lower like Prince Avenue and those, but still, everybody's kind of on the same playing field with able to recruit. And if you go back, well, this is going to help more than football. Is the schools is tennis, soccer, baseball, the ones that the private schools really dominate. If you go back and look at last year's state champions, basketball was the same way. You look at how many private, especially girls basketball, you look at how many private schools won state championships last year. That almost eliminated all the public schools. So it's going to be a big deal this year, especially in basketball, tennis, baseball, but it's going to help in football as well. Now, that being said, we still, in our region, we still have Athens Academy. I mean, so those private schools are still in our region, so they can still win the region championship. But after the season is over, you go by power rankings and everybody splits. The privates go one way, we go the other way.
Well, you and I discussed this earlier. The little caveat to that is, for instance, if Athens Academy comes in number one, they go play in the championships for the private. Well, that's not somebody that potentially could have been first, knocks them down to second.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but
second, third, and fourth, and the fifth person is one left hanging out in the drive.
Well,
but that's what I don't agree with.
But that's the beauty of power ranking, because now still say once the private schools are gone, where the public schools are still ranked off of their who they played, whether it was a win or a loss.
So it doesn't matter where they're seated.
Correct. Yeah, it matters where their power ranking is. So you'll have 1 through however many schools.
So some regions may not have all 4 teams in there.
Well, 5. You can talk about 5 different.
Oh, it's wherever in the region you are your power ratings, or it's the whole state.
Well, it depends on who you're playing as well. So, like for example, for us playing Dalton, win or lose, that's going to help us in power rankings.
Okay.
Because they're a bigger school, they're going to have and the more Dalton wins, the more it helps us.
Got it.
So that's why that's why Benedictine is doing what they're doing.
Playing number 56 team for the country.
Yeah, so now it's not going to help them with. It doesn't count against Rabun Gap.
Is there private schools in our region?
What's that?
It doesn't count against
Football,
Rabun Gap because they're not in the same.
Correct.
Who's in our region that's a private school?
Athens Academy.
Okay.
Providence Christian.
So not that they are, but let's say that both of those go number 1 and number 2. Okay. So they get taken out. Do we still get 4 teams, or just imagine about the
Just depends on where our ranking is.
All the way across the state.
Right.
So really, it's the best. However many 64 whatever teams are in the state of Georgia.
Right, and that's why you want to see the South Georgia smaller teams playing bigger schools.
So theoretically, you could have a region with nobody in the play.
Right. Now another thing is, yeah, you're right. But the thing that you're also going to run into is the fact that they're having 4A and above. You won't see a lot of those 4A schools. I mean, it's not helping those guys one way or the other, 4A and above. If they were going on power rankings, they would never play these lower schools because it's not helping their ranking at all.
Yeah.
But the 4A and above, from what I understand, of course, this is all. I could be off a little bit on this, but it is really trial and error. I guess we'll see how, because the way you look at this, we only have 2 teams out of our region in private. So there can't be there's not that many private schools between 3A and Division I private schools. I mean, so they're going to have a very small pool of the state playoff. It seems like to me.
Yeah, like Callaway boys and girls both won basketball last year. So that
not Callaway. It was Galloway.
The Galloway school.
Yeah.
So you look at like you're going back. You said all those sports that were played in 3A and lower. I think the privates won like 70% of the championships.
Yeah.
I
mean, it's been this problem for a long time. I'm not sure this is going to fix it. Maybe it will. It's going to give Division I schools a lot better chance of winning the state championship.
Yeah.
But still, I mean, you're still. So just say we fix this problem. We fix the private problem. What's going to happen with the city schools and the charter schools? Because you're going to see a lot more charters. I mean, we saw that in 17. April charter basically loaded a team to come win the state championship.
Yep.
So I don't know. I'm interested to see how it goes.
I mean, to a degree, it's definitely a step in the right direction. Trying to turn the ship here a little bit with more equitable.
It seems like it shouldn't be this hard to figure it out. I mean, they've been doing this mixing and matching for 20 years.
Well, I think there's some political stuff involved.
Well, sure there is. There's always political stuff involved. Before we get too far down that rabbit hole, Chad, give us the rankings.
Okay.
I was just about to bring up NIL in high school.
That's a whole different issue. Class 6A, the highest classification. Buford's 1. Carrollton is 2. Carrollton's made their way on up there from. They have Juju up there. What's his name? He's going to
Juju Lewis.
Is he going to? He's going to USC.
The Wolves.
Yeah. So.
That'd be the Trojans.
Grayson is at 3. Douglas County, and I think they played the other night and won. They're at number 4. Colquitt County is at 5, which is kind of a surprise to me. I think they're going to be. They play a team out of out of Utah. I think it's called the West School out of Utah tonight. So that should be a good football game. And they're one of the, but there we go back to talking about different states. You're going to see the Utah team playing the Georgia team. Now I think Cobb County will run all over them myself. But Walton is at 6. Mill Creek, one of the better schools in the state, is at 7. Camden County 8. Westlake at 9, and Newton is at 10. Then you drop down to 5A. Milton, who was the 7A state champion last year, now drops down 2 classifications and playing in 5A. They're 1. Gainesville's 2. Woodward Academy is 3. Lee County's at 4. Thomas County Central, who I think is a little bit underrated here. I think they won the state championship last year in 4A, and they were really a good football team. I think they should be ranked higher than 5. But they're 5. Langston Hughes is at 6. Rome is at 7. Coffee is at 8. Houston County is at 9. And Roswell is at number 10. Class 4A, number 1, Benedictine, who Raven Gap plays tomorrow, Saturday.
Yep.
They're at 1. Stockbridge is at 2. Marist, who was on our pick'em show earlier, is at 3. Cartersville 4. Perry at 5. North Oconee, they actually play Oconee County tonight. I was going to put that on there, but I feel like North Oconee is a lot better than Oconee. Ware County Gators at 7. Creekside is at 8. Warner Robins is at 9. And Western Trinity, that's a familiar name. They're at number 10. Class 3A, the Jefferson Dragons started. I don't know when they started the season ranked number 1. I can't remember the time they have, but they must have brought back a lot of kids. Jefferson at 1, Sandy Creek at 2, LaGrange. It's good to see LaGrange back up there. They were always a powerhouse. And then when Callaway got down there in Hogansville, I think they started taking some of their talent. But LaGrange Grangers are back at number 3. Calhoun, number 4, they're always there. Bainbridge is at 5. Mary Parsons at 6. The Lumpkin County Indians are at number 7 starting off the year. Douglas Bulldogs are at 8. Cedar Grove, which is probably the lowest Cedar Grove has been ranked in a long time preseason, at number 9. And Troop is at number 10. Class 2A, this is where our old familiar grounds there. But now it's changed a lot. Pierce County is at 1. Their biggest rival, I guess, is Appling County. They're at number 2. Rockmart is at 3. Callaway at 4. Stevens County Indians have made their way up to number 5. Carver Columbus 6. Burke County is at 7. Thompson is at 8. And Cook 9. And Hateville Charter is at number 10. Hateville Charter actually played 2A again. That's what we're talking about with they're not, the charter school is not regulated at all. So they can play basically, they can go get who they want and play where they want. Class A Division 1, which is where we are. Toombs County they have at number 1.
Wow.
You remember we played Toombs a couple years ago. They were a good football team, but I guess, yeah. They've made their way to number 1. Commerce is at 2. Swainsboro's at 3, Fitzgerald at 4. Our Wildcats come in at 5. That team out of Thomasville is at 6. Dublin is at 7. Northeast at 8. Elbert County is at number 9, and Blakely County is at number 10. So there's some familiar names.
Yeah, we stayed at pretty much at number 5 all last year.
Yeah.
I mean, in the middle of that. Yeah.
I was surprised we're ranked ahead of Elbert.
Yeah, Elbert, I think, lost some kids. They do have some coming back. Yeah, I'm going to tell you a name you need to listen. Remember right now is DK Wynn from Elbert County. He was just a freshman last year, sophomore this year. That kid can flip and play. Wide receiver. He's a heck of a basketball player, and an even better kid. I coached against him in basketball when Landon was in 7th and 8th grade. Coached against him 2 years. I was actually at a travel basketball tournament for tag. No, I'm sorry. It was the All-Star tournament with tag this past year, and Elbert County was over there. And DK's little brother plays, and DK came out of nowhere and came up and shook my hand and said hello, and just a lot of respect for a kid like that. He's a heck of an athlete and an even better kid. So, but you're going to hear his name a lot, DK Wynn. Class A Division 2, Bowden is at 1. Brooks County is at number 2. Manchester is at number 3, and they have the man, Justice Terry, who's we think is going to Georgia. He's one of the top recruits in the state, one of the top recruits in the nation, and at little old Manchester.
What's he play?
Defensive tackle, isn't
He's
he?
a big boy.
Yeah,
He's a hoss.
I thought that's what you were talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then you have Irwin County at 4, Schley County at 5, Clinch County at 6, Bryan County at 7, Greene County is at number 8, Tryon is at number 9. Remember we played Tryon last year, right? No, that was in basketball. I think I've seen Tryon at some point. Telfair County is at 10. Now now we drop down to the 3A/A privates. So this is that Georgia High School ranks them or Maxwell ranks them differently. Prince Avenue is at 1, Savannah Christian is at 2. So in reality, Prince Avenue is a double A team. Savannah Christian is a Division I team, but they're ranked 1 and 2. Hebrew Christian is at 3, Fellowship Christian is at 4, Trinity Christian at 5, Calvary Day at 6, GAC at 7, Wesleyan at 8, and Aquinas at number 9. But see,
it's still always weird to hear like GAC ranked number 8.
So what you're going to run into with that is they've only ranked 9 teams there. So it could very well be. I will have to look at that playoff bracket, but there's not going to be a lot of private schools in that playoff because most of your smaller private schools are non-football playing schools.
Right.
So
is Riverside still around?
They are, but they're in GISA now. They're
Okay.
in GISA.
Yeah, they only get to start practicing in the first day of school. So they
don't even have their kids.
Yeah.
I mean, that's going back to basically, building a football team on the first week of school.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'll never forget the kid taking his ball and going home down there.
Mm-hmm.
Now the coach at Savannah Day left there to take J-Bo's spot over in
Wayne County?
yeah.
Wayne County's got some good players as well. They should be good.
I bet, I'm just speculating, maybe J-Bo didn't stay there because he knew he had to go through Benedictine every year to get anything done.
Hard to say.
Yeah. But anyway.
What about some players from around the state?
Okay, so now I didn't bring the nationally ranked. I mean this. Of course, everybody in the nation knows about what's in Georgia. I saw a Georgia Tech kid on here. Number 1 player in the state as of right
They're
now.
getting a 5-star, Chad.
He's a 4-star.
No, not this one. They got a 5-star coming.
You don't have him. You didn't update your list. We got Josh Petty right there.
Oh.
Get it together, Chad.
Fellowship. I knew that Georgia Tech was on his list.
He picked us this last week.
Is he a 5? He's the 5.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
Hey, they're moving on up.
Whew. Elijah Griffin is at 1. He's going to Georgia. Zay Walker from Schley County, linebacker from down there. I can't remember. I'll have to update who they're looking at. Justice Harry, who we were just talking about from Manchester, is going to Georgia. 6'5", 275. Defensive line. So Georgia keeps stacking them in there. But they've been recruiting this kid since he was in 8th grade. This kid's been a stud for a while. Then I guess Josh Petty, he's the kid going to Georgia Tech.
Mm-hmm.
Good job, guys. From Fellowship Christian. Isaiah Gibson from Warner Robins, he's going to Georgia. Elias Williams from Camden County, he's going to Georgia. Tavion Wallace is going to Arkansas. He's a 4-star. There's Juju Lewis. He's the kid going to USC. Daryl Johnson from Dodge County is going to Alabama. Alabama, you're so used to seeing all their top recruits, but we, especially from the state of Georgia, but not seeing a lot of that. Kevin Wynn. This one surprises me. A kid out of Greene County going to Florida State. I didn't know who he was. So Greene County is still producing athletes. There's the safety, Lagonzo Hayward from Toombs County. I have heard them talk about him, and I guess he's one of the reasons that Toombs County is ranked as high as they are. Tay Harris from Cedartown is going to Clemson. Clemson has a couple of top recruits, which is kind of a surprise because, well, I guess Davo's still counting on the recruiting system, not the NIL or not the.
Yeah, they're paying. They're paying. They're not doing the portal. They're doing NIL, not doing the portal.
I was gonna find that out pretty quick. Jaden Perlotti from Buford, he's a 4-star, and I think he's one of the ones that Georgia's chasing as well. Dalen Benson is a kid that's going to Georgia Tech from Sandy Creek. Corner 5'10", 165. I hadn't heard a lot about him. I guess he must be pretty good from Sandy Creek.
Super fast.
Alex Payne from Gainesville, all big offensive tackle, 6'5", 265. He is undecided. Brandon Jacobs going to Clemson. He's the other kid from Buford. Peyton Joseph from Houston County. And then we'll just kind of run into. There's a lot here, so we'll have a better view of what's going on.
Yeah.
Once the season gets started, and these kids they jump up and down in state rankings quite a bit. So.
All right. Well, that was fun.
Different.
It's time to get this season started, and I guess we'll have to talk about when we're going to record next week, because we'll be leaving on Thursday.
On Thursday
for Ireland. So
we got to go watch Kentucky play Florida State in Dublin.
Jeez, I don't. So what are y'all gonna do other than go to the game?
Guinness Factory.
Okay.
You gotta go see the cliffs.
Jameson Factory.
Yeah, you gotta go see the cliffs of, what are they? The Cliffs of Moher.
You gotta go see some more cliffs.
Yeah, more or less.
More cliffs.
Or so y'all gonna try some Irish car bombs? We're allowed to say that on radio.
No, we're not. No, we've tried them.
I used to try them every once in a while,
Nope.
especially on St. Patty's Day.
Yep. You can't say St. Patty's Day in Ireland.
What?
Not a fan. They're not a fan of that.
Why? Just because it's commercialized so much?
Mm-hmm.
Jeez.
Yep. I read that this week.
Hateful people.
No, I think they're very nice. Yeah.
They're drunk all the time.
Maybe that's why they're nice.
Maybe that's really nice. All right. Well, this was fun. We will be back next week.
Any predictions on how this is going to end?
Which one?
I mean, everybody says they're going to win.
Oh, I'm undefeated.
I mean, listen, I'm going for 4 years running.
Brad, that is your mentality. I mean,
I'm undefeated.
I'm not sure you've ever won this show.
Ever.
Year before last, I won.
No, I won
No,
last
you
year. I'm
didn't.
going to win this
Thank
year.
you.
You haven't won 2 in a row.
Yes, I have.
No, you haven't. I won you year before last.
No, you did.
I've won this thing more than anybody.
Oh my God, Chad! People call you cheating Chad for a reason.
For real.
You go back to even the Jeff Reeves days. I've dominated.
I gotta pull it out. I'm giving you a yellow card right now. We're talking football.
Why are you kidding?
Ow! Cheater! Oh!
I've been waiting.
Why are you carrying a yellow card around?
For you, Chad.
We're talking about football, ain't we?
You! He's going for you!
It actually says cheater on it.
That's
Oh,
why.
yeah.
Les, did you have that made just for the show?
Just finished up.
That's for the show. He's retired. He can do that now.
Tater tot. Gosh. We
Yes,
need to keep
Les.
that thing out because I can be throwing that yellow card up a lot.
Well, then I'll get my yellow penalty flag.
We got Corso with props now. Tater Tot Turner's got his props.
That's right.
Should we start bringing headgear with us?
Yes, we're gonna start picking our teams with the mascot.
Exactly. Not so fast.
That's right. Not so fast, buddy.
All right. We'll see y'all next week. Sky 963 Sports, your home for Rabun County High School football.